4, can I get some ECN over the air?
264, you looking for the
original with ECN.
It's going to be 03482.
Right.
You're welcome, 1733.
Case number, please.
533, case number is 041744. 041744.
533, thank you.
You're welcome, 1734.
$23.50, 188.
Is it YouTube?
Mm-hmm.
Copy 165,
5188.
Charles Avenue downstairs.
My name
Cop
is
is not on
Fletcher.
scene. His 15-year-old son choking wife has a knife in his hand. Has several mental health
Charles.
issues. That is declined to be treated, but says he transferred to hospital for mental health. Squad to assist.
183.
Copy 183.
Ooh, that's bright out. Well, welcome back to Live on Patrol at 5:30. Sort of an extended afternoon edition. We were with you from 1:30 to 5:30 or 5:15. Wasn't much going on here in the city of St. Paul on March 1st.
364.
If you were with us earlier, you know that we're celebrating the end of winter.
Start me in admin case number, reasons of around Thomas.
End of winter. It's 24 degrees right now at 5:36 in St. Paul, but tomorrow it's going to be over 40, and we got 10-day stretch of 40 to 50 in the 50s. So all this snow will be melting. So we're declaring an end to winter here in St. Paul. Now, that doesn't mean we won't get a big snowstorm in April, but
165, 183. The son is Rodney Oliver.
we're rooting to put our snowblowers away.
5'9".
Indeed.
Medium build, black hoodie, dark pants. Cop cannot see his knife is still in hand.
There were a couple of things that happened while we were off, though. Off-duty officer at the U.S. Bank downtown took someone into custody who was carrying a gun. And there was a report of a couple cars getting off 94 downtown by the Dorothy Day Center who were shooting at each other out of their cars. A silver Jaguar and a silver Acura. Headed into downtown. We're still looking for that red Town and Country van 300 NMB that was trying to steal stuff. Stolen van out of Minneapolis.
Black County. You can let me know as well arriving with A3. 622 go. Van Buren McCubbin with Foxtrot, Juliet Echo 163. Van Buren McCubbin 1738.
Can you call the contact?
We'll get to the sun out of your faces here in a minute. We're just kind of Headed west on University.
Yeah, the entrance to the house is on the west side.
What's the address on Charles there, Pat?
1470.
Son does know that police are being called, maybe verbally aggressive. I'll get a call back to see how we can get in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can we confirm the address as well?
Copy that.
One seven seven.
177.
Send me the hit run.
So things are starting to pick up, but pretty slow for those last 3 or 4 hours, which is good. It's a beautiful day.
Copy that.
Gorgeous day, actually. Can't wait till tomorrow. 40 plus degrees.
178, we're code 4.
178, code 4.
50 degrees here this weekend. Can you believe it?
Unreal.
Just want to say that saying from 1980. Do you believe in miracles? Time you get through this winter here.
165, we made contact. That's an officer going to me. Supposed to be downstairs.
27. Last button. 287 at Foxtrot Delta Bravo 945 Semi-Co.
Is this on one?
It's on one, but it's scanning. That's why you might pick up some other stuff.
206. Squad 206.
Shut the scan off. If
You just put me out at region on a PCM, please.
you want to.
Yeah, I'm on 2.
Copy 1740.
Well, assuming those officers have that child with a knife call handled.
Squad 622, are you 1012?
Affirmative.
Copy, you see the 89 on Tom Dixon.
Alright, copy. That's not going to be the RO. Thank you.
Welcome 1741.
Well, that sun was bright. Now my eyes got to readjust a little
Yeah,
bit.
I know it.
So we're not sure how much longer we're going to work tonight. We've been out here since 1:30, and we'll be back with you on Friday. But we did want to just try it out and see how, make sure the equipment was working.
267. 267. Your plane Alpha Tango call 346. Copy, medic 1771.
Please, because this is a new time, please share this with your friends, if you wouldn't mind. That 1:30 display, you guys shared it over 500 times, so if you wouldn't mind, because
Walking there right now.
they might not know it's back on. So
874 Marion.
we're outside Willard's. Looks like some good conversation going on there. We don't want to interrupt that.
Bravo 488 DOT.
New message. New message.
Copy, have a good night. 1742.
Bike traffic was cleared. Something nice about people getting home from work and going out to relax, right?
Indeed.
New message.
How are you?
New message.
Oh. So we are on Thomas Avenue, westbound on Thomas.
Check the first letter rate for 7th and Mound. Massachusetts medics on a man down.
Westbound
Spot
on
360.
Thomas.
Clear advise and send it.
7360.
It's an area both Bob and I
In
worked
the
for
median.
a large part of our careers.
Yeah.
1744.
I was just thinking.
35, you can send us that AMA.
All the old
Or block out.
35 copy.
calls on this street. And a lot of. I'm sure we were to every other house here at some point.
Darn near.
267. I'll be tagging one of the drivers involved. Going for it.
You know, the worst call. I mean, there's a lot of bad calls.
Copy 1744.
But I remember a couple of houses here where you go to a middle of the night, working midnights, and
270 on 1.
somebody's father
270 on 1.
gets up to go to the bathroom and dies of a heart attack.
Traffic, Como Stella with a white Dodge Durango dealer plate, 135520.
You come there and you want to be helpful at the same time. It's just the emotion and the chaos of people, of that sudden loss in the middle of the night.
Copy canceling medics.
Durango, 13552 Delta.
It's a terrible call.
13552 Delta, copy that.
You're praying for the medics to get there as fast as they can, because you can only do so much, and then after that you're praying for the chaplain to get there as fast. Clergy, you know, because you're there with the family while they're experiencing their loss.
They are a much appreciated and not nearly recognized enough for the chaplains with the
Absolutely.
police department.
Good point. And they help, and of late they've been there to support the officers in their individual post-traumatic stress that they've experienced, you know.
Yep.
But they always do a great job with the families, and they relieve us of, what's that car there? Not the right plate. A Highlander.
Toyota.
That's a Highlander. How'd I do?
New message.
That's a Highlander.
New message.
So let's, Pat and I want to compliment our chaplains today and our radio dispatchers for all the great work that they do. And we try to throw compliments as often as possible because it's the right thing to do. But it so happens to be that today, I'm sure you saw this in the news. If you hadn't, you better look it up. Today is World Compliment Day. Well, every citizen should compliment each other. And backseaters, this is your chance to demonstrate your kindness by complimenting somebody else on this thread, or that you know is there for their, because you know a lot about each other. Let's throw some compliments around on this thread.
And I'll start it off. You've seemed in an exceptionally cheerful mood today, and you're looking rather dapper.
Well, I appreciate you saying that, but you're the one. You look. I've told you this before. You look a lot better than me because you watch what you eat. You take good care of yourself. You don't smoke cigarettes. But never mind.
Hey, stop. I don't think one of those things was true.
But let me just say, I enjoy your personality.
Thank you.
And you're easy to ride around with, and hang out with.
Likewise.
You're a smart cop too that knows how to connect the dots. So to connect the dots. And
It's actually has made me wish a few times that we had worked together, as partners.
Yeah. Well, we each had unique partners too.
Oh, we really did.
Finnegan, Beeson, a little bit with Young Hands I worked. You had Flaherty for the most part.
Flaherty, Tom Arnold, Mike Carter, Mike Drews.
Yeah. Carter was a classic. By the way, your old partner, just for those of you that are wondering, if you watched the Wild game the other night, Ryan Carter, who played many years with the NHL, was actually Mike Carter's son that Pat is talking about. That worked with Pat, and now he's doing play-by-play or a little broadcasting with the Wild organization.
That's very cool.
And does a very nice job. And White Bear Lake, high school graduate, winner of the Stanley Cup as well. And he was kind enough to bring the actual Stanley Cup to the White Bear Sports Center.
Nice.
So the kids could see and touch and get to meet him. So, and I remember when he was born, it seems like yesterday, when Mike was working the streets, the old beat office.
Oh, yeah.
And now he's played in the NHL. He's moved on to broadcasting. It just seems like it was yesterday, Pat.
Oh, doesn't it? They were that beat crew were actually some of the first in the country to document because there was a lot of fairly high quantity street level drug dealing going on then.
Yeah.
And they were some of the first in the country to set up in surveillance spots with video cameras and video it, the deals, as evidence.
Yeah, you're right.
And led to a lot of very significant convictions of some of the gangs that were invading St. Paul.
It's about 182.
They were clever. Some might say sneaky. Literally hiding in bushes. I think they actually had a bush costume with the video camera. It is a small town.
Yeah, it'd be 1110 Larpenter Avenue West, Walgreens.
Someone's walking
Red's
out.
up for work. 1751.
No way.
Squad 818.
Squad 818.
So we got a little sunlight left, which is a pleasure for Pat and I.
His info for West Squad, area of Minnehaha and Chatsworth. There is a silver 4-door Ford Explorer, older, boxier, no plates on it, driving extremely erratic in the area. We lost it in the area of Chatsworth and Minnehaha about a minute ago. We are not pursuing it, just observed its driving behavior.
Which way was it? What kind of car was it?
Traffic on the area of Minnehaha and Chatsworth. Silver 4-door boxy, older model Ford Explorer, no plates, driving erratic. 1752.
It's not that one. I just went that way, is it? It's not
No.
an Explorer.
Nope.
The front one. Okay.
No.
Okay.
Hey, Reverend. Yes, we are. Oh, I'm sorry. It ended up being a truck that was backfiring. You bet. Sorry I didn't get back to you. All right, sir.
Check those messages on Pat on the phone there and see if anybody complimented each other there.
Oh, there was a lot of it going on.
Okay. World Compliment Day. That's important. Some nice flags there. We get the Minnesota flag. What's that, the Navy's?
Navy
US
Seabees,
Navy, must be,
the predecessors of the SEALs. Or, yeah.
must be some
Or, wait a minute, Seabees.
recruitment.
Seabees were the construction arm of the Navy.
27 case number, please. Going 3-3.
533.
I was reading from Garrison Keeler while you were in there
Sorry, can I
too.
get my case number one more time, please?
That's the other thing. You
Hey,
missed,
from
you
case
missed
number
Garrison.
041744.
I'm sorry, say that again, sir?
While you were in the bathroom, while you were in the holiday, I was reading from Garrison
You're welcome,
Keeler
1754.
about streets. That's in the book too.
27, can I please get my case number?
287, your case number 041755.
Lisa, we love Lloyd's Pharmacy.
Oh,
And Lisa works
You're
there
welcome.
and is watching us.
well, Lisa, so I go way back with Lloyd's Pharmacy. Actually, when Lloyd was there and we sold it to. There was two guys working there. Doug, if you remember Doug, ever heard of him? Doug was one of the pharmacists. He passed away at a very young age. And then the guy that bought it from Lloyd, Lisa, you can help us out, but it'll come to me. Just a wonderful, wonderful guy that he owned it then until I think the recent owner bought it a few years back.
So let us know, Lisa.
Let us know who that. And there was a woman that worked there. Doug, a woman, and this. They were all just great people. Because I went to Hamlin and then I lived in that area for many years after there. So that was the primary pharmacy. And of course, it burned down. Sadly, I was there when it was boarded up and it wasn't burned down. And the next day, it was, even though it was boarded up, it was burned down.
That's sad.
Let's see if you can catch his name. Or she might not remember the old operators before it transferred. Well, Pat and I are hoping we'll see a bunch of kids out in the next couple weeks that we can engage with. Most of them have been inside in this cold weather. But on the weekends, we like to have a little conversation.
Somebody just asked in relation to our last night out was, Bob, are you saying that hypothetically winter's over?
Exactly. That was a classic, that conversation.
Yes, it was.
Love that guy. Some guys can just tell a story. He was one of them.
163. We'll take one of
So-
your 911.
Yeah, he could.
You know what was interesting about him? I could tell he was raised by a mom that
Copy. 1500 block of Grand Avenue. 911 hang up.
took
1014
the
years.
time to. There were some phrases that he used to show that he was pretty well educated. You know. Now he said, like, mind you, you know, and so let me get to the point. You know, he was a good storyteller.
Squad 181.
Squad 181.
My father-in-law, Carl
You can send
Whitey
the device
England,
and you can send the
who
offenders.
is passed now, was a great storyteller and led a fascinating
Copy.
life.
Victoria and St. Anthony Avenue for vehicle accident. 2 vehicles, 1 blocking.
But it was kind of a standing joke that if Whitey told you, let me make a long story short,
Yeah, it's still gonna be long.
it was time to sit down, put your feet up, and settle in because you were going to be listening for a while.
So we are by the Hassan Mosque,
Bravo 251 EOT.
one of the two prominent mosques in the Midway. This in the
Copy. Good
Dawa.
night. 1758.
One 165, can I get our case number?
Put those up, huh?
Yeah.
165. Case number is 041.
There's a silver.
763.
Is that an Explorer? I think it is.
041 763.
It could be a Tahoe. I gotta see the tail lights. We're in the right area. I think it's a boxy silver Explorer. Wonder if he's gonna start driving crazy. Clear
Well,
right.
I'll catch him for you.
$287. I'm with 267 at 874 variant in relation.
What channel you on over there?
2.
So for those of you that just joined us or aren't familiar with us because of the time change, this is Live on Patrol. My name is Bob Fletcher. I have the pleasure of serving as your Ramsey County Sheriff here in Ramsey County, which is the county that encompasses the capital city of St. Paul, Minnesota. With me is my partner, Pat Scott, longtime veteran St. Paul police officer, but currently serving as an analyst with the Ramsey County Sheriff's Office.
New message.
Nobody knows
New
these
message.
streets better than Pat. He and I worked them since 1977 and 78. But now we're with the Sheriff's Office. So if you're joining us, thank you. We'll be on for a couple more hours. I wouldn't mind if you please shared this with your friends, just so we can get that share count up. Make sure people know we're on. Normally we're on at Fridays at 9/11, but today we decided to test out some equipment and also declare winter over. We're like the Vulcans. We're like the Vulcans of the winter.
Sure, downtown Beach, so they can start St. Joseph.
Tom Barrett, my favorite winter carnival guy of all time, Tom Barrett, just got back celebrating his birthday down in Florida. I'm getting jealous, Tom. All those pictures of you at Naples, Key West, on the boat. What the heck? Golfing. Come on back here. Come on back to the cold. You're a Vulcan. You gotta close out winter, and today's the day, Vulcan. In fact, Tommy, if you're listening, Tom Barrett, call us up right now. We want to hear the official end of summer is here from Volcanus Rex himself.
Well, this ended up being a Mercury Mountaineer, which is the Mercury equivalent.
He's outside the ER. He's going to be wearing a brown
360.
jacket.
Good. You're on your own too.
The comp is at 1574 still up.
There's something at 2 in the ER.
Yeah, thank you.
Mine clicked over to
287. 287.
But they're driving normally. It's a name we're familiar with, but we have no reason to stop them.
Clear it out. We can back 279. Or she can just clear all together and we'll take that call and we're done. Copy that. 279, stay clear.
All right, I'm going to turn my scans off. I'm on 3. There's 1 here.
279, you can keep me on it.
2. Okay.
Copy.
It's hard monitoring 6 frequencies at once.
Squad 818.
It does get interesting.
We located that Ford Explorer in front of 1073 Blair. We got a CEO and around here looking for us.
You found it at 1070 Blair.
Copy. Do you want a case number for it?
It's on the wrong channel, but that's okay.
Affirmative.
Copy.
Yeah, 818 is running out here.
Copy. Is it occupied?
Just by 2 dogs, unfortunately.
Woof! Woof! In the old days,
Copy that. I have plugged in. Do you know which DEOs are out today? I can send them a call as well.
in the old days, we used to get on the radio and make a funny woof woof, but now everybody takes it too seriously.
Right.
So we don't get to do that.
I just got one question to ask.
Yeah.
Who didn't let the dogs out?
Yeah. Exactly. Yep. One of the things I was thinking about, people ask me what's changed, you know, and when we worked University Avenue
1804.
between Dale and Victoria, there was a lot of street prostitution.
Yes, there was.
Young ladies that were walking the street.
1804.
No, we're talking back in the late 70s, early 80s. But, of course, there was the Faust Theater for nude dancing, and then there was the Belmont across the street. But from there to Victoria, there was a fair amount of street prostitution, which for the most part, you know, prostitutes walking the street doesn't exist, right?
Right.
And let me just say, as long as I'm on this, because I know it's one of my wife's favorite movies, Pretty Woman, you know?
Mm-hmm.
You familiar with the movie?
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't like that.
No.
Can we just say that? No.
Nothing at all.
Nothing
like
at all
Pretty
like
Woman.
Pretty Woman. But, but obviously Julie Roberts, of course, is an outstanding actress, and who wouldn't like, is it Richard Gere?
Richard Gere.
Richard Gere. Who wouldn't like those two in any movie together, right?
Right.
But the favorite, the best actor in that whole movie, I'm not saying I ever watched it or anything, but the best actor in the whole movie is that hotel maitre d', right?
Oh, yeah, Hector Elizondo.
Hector Elizondo.
Hector Elizondo's a great.
That guy is classy. Every show he's in, he's good.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Every show he's in, he's good. So anyhow, the point is that, you know, some of those TV shows glamorize it, but it was a rough life of those young ladies that were quite often beaten up by their pimps.
Oh, yeah.
And you remember Kim Flemino used to work out there. Her pimp Johnny Phipps was out there, and it's just, of course, Candy, and there was a team, black and white team.
What was her name?
I don't know. But then Harvey Joseph's sister was out there, Vanessa.
Mm-hmm.
Vanessa. This is a tough life out on those streets, and you know, we would arrest them, take them to jail, and a couple days later they'd be back out there. And you know, thankfully since then there are organizations like Breaking Free that help these young ladies. That was in the 70s and 80s where there really wasn't the resources to get them out of prostitution. But you know, like Jerry Vick worked closely with the Breaking Free organization.
Oh, yeah.
And help these young ladies find the new path. And so it's just, it was a devastating life cycle, and it quite often wasn't just their lives, it was the lives of their children.
Yep.
And you know, remember Debbie Lipke? There's another one. These are all adults that I'm mentioning, and her boyfriend Matthew Granville Taylor. Yeah. So these, you know, the reason we remember these names is they left an impact on us because we were trying to help the young women get off the streets. Well, let's see what this is. Hang on a second. Hold on. Hello.
385.
Hang on one second. Hang on. I got to get you on the speaker. Hold on there. Is this Tom Barrett, Volcanus Rex, calling from Florida?
You got the live and in person from us. How you doing, Sheriff?
Good. And are you back, or are you still down there?
We are. I'm looking out at green grass. Well, it's actually a little dark now, but trust me, the grass is green here, and temperatures are still about the 80s. So I'll bring some of that warmth home. But we're sitting at the airport waiting to head north.
Oh, you are? Are you in Naples or Fort Myers Airport?
Right now, no. Actually in Tampa, but we traveled a pretty good chunk of the state.
Yeah.
Now, since I'm telling everybody I'm not home in beautiful Ramsey County, I trust you'll send some of the squads by the house to make sure nobody messes.
I will do that. Well, you left your well-built sons there to protect the house anyhow.
Yes.
Right?
Okay. Yeah. True. But
hey,
you never know.
But listen, today it is. This is the end of winter here. And what year were you Volcanus Rex?
I was fortunate to be in 2004 when we had the Ice Palace and the All-Star hockey game with the NHL came to town. Yeah, it was a great time. And nothing, of course, compared to the 86 Palace that your dad helped build.
Well, you came back. You made a comeback tonight, Sir Patrick. Clear right. Clear right. So
Yes, well, that was an honor tonight, Tim, and hopefully he's still calling it clear right for you. I don't know.
Absolutely. The count of clear right is on the case.
Oh, I love it, Patrick.
It was an honor, Tom. Thank you.
Well, the boys we got together, and it's like we watch you guys, and of course we support everything you do. But it's just like, what kind of title do we get this guy? Hey, he's the count of clear right.
Perfect.
It's perfect.
Well, Tommy, you're one of the nicest men we know, and today's World Compliment Day. We just wanted to tell you, thank you for being such a kind-hearted person. And
well, Bob, it's guys like you that we kind of follow your lead. I don't know about Pat, but it's definitely you, Bob.
Well, it's nice of you to say that, but seriously speaking, when you're coming home in the next 24 hours?
Oh, yeah. We'll be home tonight.
Oh, because here's the thing. Tomorrow, if you've been watching the weather up here, it's going to be in the 40s tomorrow, and then it's going to be 350-degree days this weekend. So it's only fitting.
What?
It's only fitting that the Volcanus Rex is coming back into town to bring us the warm weather.
Well, I'll take all the credit, you know that, but it was a group,
Yeah.
But we will bring the warmth and sunny blue skies.
Yeah. So how old are you now? I saw it was your birthday.
Oh, night. You're gonna go right there. What was that Beatles song? When I'm 64. So yeah. 64.
All right. Well, that's good. You're still young. You're still.
Well, I got a whole young at heart, and I had the time of my life down here driving a Bentley convertible a friend had down here in Naples. That was just. You did? Okay.
And Wanda was willing to put up with you no matter what.
She was in the back seat, but she put up and enjoyed our trip. So it was a memorable birthday, one of those bucket list things.
Yeah.
So
good for you. Good for you.
Well, are you guys being safe? I hope all's good.
All's quiet up here right now. Right now, Pat and I got them surrounded.
Are you talking about City Hall? No, never mind. We won't go there.
Yeah.
Oh, God. I love it. Well, good to hear your voice, and glad to know you're keeping track of where I am, no matter if it's in Foot or up in Ramsey County.
All right, well, thanks. And listen, if you run into Tom Brady in the airport there, say hi to him for me.
I will certainly do that, but I don't think he's flying coach.
Okay.
All right.
All right. See you later.
Tell you guys. Thank you.
Have a safe flight, Tom.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Oh, that's cute.
Good man. Top notch.
Yeah, he is.
You get those people that are just always kind to everybody, and you just gotta really appreciate those guys. There aren't too many people that can be kind to everyone all the time.
Indeed.
God bless you, Tommy Barrett.
Yeah, I had the great honor of getting knighted by Tommy and the rest of the Vulcans as Count of the Clear Right, Master of Analysis.
Yep. Well,
What St. Paul boy wouldn't love that honor?
Some computer issues weren't clear. The prior address advised, and we'll take that 911 on Grand.
30. What do we got there?
Matt, it was Bob's dad who was in on the ice castle. Not mine.
I worked for the Corps of Engineers, and they invited him to help being one of the project engineer coordinators to oversee the project, review the designs, and make sure there was, a check and balance on all the engineering so no one would get hurt, and that the records would be achieved.
287, we're close for medics.
So I'm just thinking, Pat, that someday when they have electric self-drive cars, when we're really old,
Yeah.
we could just tell the car where to drive from our houses.
Yeah.
Put the camera there.
Yeah. We'll sit around having some snacks.
It wouldn't be quite the same.
No, that wouldn't be us.
We've got to be out
like
that movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger. What's your
161?
Citizen?
Can you take us off that 911 call? We'll still be heading to it, and then log us out up there so I can restart the computer.
Copy that. 183, go ahead.
Well, thank you. If you've just joined us, we appreciate it. If you haven't had a chance to share this with your friends, it's an unusual time for us. Things will start picking up here soon.
Bravo 368.
What else do I got to add?
Bravo 368.
Well, happened in the last couple days.
Go ahead. I guess medics 422.
Hopefully those two primary carjackers that we arrested in the last week, they're juveniles. They'll be kept in custody. As you read in the paper, one of them had 20 previous arrests, but the justice system just sometimes fails.
And the lack of carjackings in St. Paul and Ramsey County over the weekend are testament to the fact that when you get the violent offenders incarcerated, it makes a big difference.
So, Pat, I don't know, can you Google, we got notified during the break that there was a school shooting down in Arkansas. And I just want to get the facts on what has happened down there. Those of you might be seeing it on the national news.
It sounds like it was a one-on-one situation where a student was shot and killed by another student, and the shooter is in custody.
Well, we're just gonna comment a little bit. We try to stay out of pure politics, but if it's public safety politics, of course, we're not afraid to weigh into that. As you know, our thoughts on ShotSpotter and the cuts in the police department. But it's time probably to open up the conversation. And the third issue is, of course, the juvenile justice system. How we can make sure kids get the help. It isn't about justice for the victim, although that's a part of it. It's about justice for the long haul, for the perpetrator to get corrected, and for society to avoid having to put up with it. But I want to talk about school shootings because I've been concerned about this. We've been under a COVID rule for a long time, but schools are going back later on this month. And as you know, Minneapolis and St. Paul have gotten rid of their school resource officers.
Great, I copy. Looks like impending there's a DKP at 422. Are they aware of that? Is that aware of that one?
I'm taking a look here what's going on here.
So the elimination
Bravo,
of let me turn that down here. This elimination of school resource officers on both sides of the river is going to put children at greater risk than when we had them there. And we know the politics of why they wanted to get rid of officers, but it's time to revisit that decision because nobody's in a better position to stop an assault, a shooting, a mass shooting than the school resource officer. And I'm very concerned that removal of SROs is going to put people at risk. So we're going back in March. We got April and May, which are going to be always busy months. People get a little anxious toward the end of the year. And I don't know if we'll be able to convince the policymakers to make that change. But if it doesn't happen for April and May of this year, we should be revisited for September of next year. There's a lot of good quality police officers, Toy Vixavong and in St. Paul, that relate to kids and can connect with them. And this fear of somehow police presence being a negative is Well, in some corners it's there. It's completely outweighed by the additional safety that comes to children by having the officer there. So thanks for letting me on my soapbox regarding that. But Pat?
A little bit of an update to that. There was some erroneous information initially relayed. Thank God the student who was shot is not deceased, but is in critical condition.
Anything you want to say about school resource or toy?
It baffles me why anyone would not want school resource officers in their school. It's nothing but a win. It's a positive thing.
Copy. 287, if they happen to give you an apartment number. Negative. I'm going to work with the TC now and see if we can find anything in Ramsey Street.
Mahjong.
Thank you.
Is that light? This one? Is it light? Says it's light right on it. Yeah.
A wise guy. It might be light beer, but when you're carrying a carton of it, it isn't light. Yeah, I know. Over my entire career, I've seen school resource officers keep a lot of situations that could escalate into something dangerous or even deadly from doing so.
So, part of life is holding people accountable for their decisions. You looking at something? Or?
Nope.
Holding people accountable for their decisions, because quite often so many officials, some elected, some appointed, like you to forget what they did, what they decided. And so part of my role in life is paying attention to history. And if there is a school shooting, let's just remember that the people that decided to get rid of the school resource officers deserve some ownership of the future. You know, you can't just say, well, we made a mistake, but it's, you know, really whatever. You have to have some ownership of your policy decisions. And if you're willing to own them and stand behind them, well, that's one thing. But if you're quickly going to blame someone else, it's the same way with the shot spotter and the reduced number of officers. And besides the reduced number of officers, just the violence that's going on in town, the carjackings, violence, and really, we haven't heard a thing from the mayor. But if the mayor is willing to own his decisions about having a committee to study for the longer term, but not doing anything in the short term, well, that's fine. At least he owns his decisions, but he owns them. He owns what happens based upon what the leadership is. And so, I mean, tell me, countless times in my career I've had to own a decision for things that I've done or things that I've allowed people to do, and that's just the nature of the beast. But we have to make sure that our elected officials are accountable and own their decisions. And as of right now, the St. Paul Police Department is down 90 police officers. There's no plan for shot spotter. And thank goodness Chief Todd Axtell has mobilized some bodies to work on the carjackings with us. But it's potentially could be a really, really busy summer with all the things going on at once.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are holding their breath for what summer has in store.
Right, and 1823.
Hey! Somebody Somebody said
New
hi.
message.
Yep.
A lot of people
New message.
probably ask about the sheriff's department. We have 500 employees at the sheriff's office. About half of those are sworn deputies, and then we have a couple hundred correctional officers as well in the jail.
Channel 1 and 2 at best temporarily.
Just in case you're curious, the difference between us and the St. Paul Police Department. The St. Paul Police Department has primary responsibility for the city of St. Paul and responding to calls and handling calls for service. They have, what do they got now, 600 officers? But down to 5 something?
Yeah, under 6.
Under 6 now. Yeah, they're down to 5 something. And, you know, they patrol the southern part of the county. Our sheriff's office patrols 7 cities in the suburbs, and there are several other cities in the suburbs as well. But we also provide jail services, detention services for over 25,000 arrestees in a year. Court security services for our courts, transportation, jail security at the hospital, water patrol functions, parks functions, narcotics, violent crime enforcement team. So we have a broad spectrum of services that we provide. And of course, we're there to support any particular municipal agency that might need our help. So under our Minnesota concept, there's a state patrol, or called state troopers. They're state police. And they, on a parallel side of them, the Bureau of Criminal Apprehension is the BCA agents who are also peace officers. And you have 87 sheriffs and 87 sheriff's department. The largest of which is Sheriff Dave Hutchinson over there in Hennepin County, and then Ramsey County being the second largest. And then we have 300 plus local police departments. Minneapolis being the largest, right across the river from us, of course, where the George Floyd incident occurred, and then the St. Paul Police Department. Beyond that, Duluth, Bloomington. What would be the other big ones besides Duluth and Bloomington?
Probably the 2 Brooklyn, Center and Park.
Brooklyn Center, Brooklyn Park. So it's a multiple web layered. $12.68 pain.
Didn't hear that one.
Neither, but no for.
Went into a house.
That's like 2, I guess. So. Who went into a house?
The suspect.
Something went on here earlier, right?
What's that?
Squad was out somewhere here at Rice, Pennsylvania, Pennsylvania. This is our favorite holiday station. All roads lead to holiday at Rice and Penn. It's the center of the universe here in the city of St. Paul. 620 Victor Whiskey.
Squad 370.
How's it going? Good. Is it windy? I feel like the wind. Is the wind blowing now?
Compensating. Somebody's
It's
going
gonna
out
be
the
40
back
plus
door.
tomorrow.
I don't know if it's the suspect or not.
New message.
Happy. Where's she at right now?
Looks like she'll be waiting in
Impala?
her 10, 20,
Yeah,
12
that's
truck.
that one over there.
On my right.
We're getting a lot of stairs there.
Okay.
1827.
Sometimes people
New message.
just
629 go.
don't like us,
New
which is
message.
really hard to believe.
Westbound 94, just east of
New
Victoria.
message.
Delta Charlie,
We
Julia,
got a red.
15376, and
Here's-
185 on there as well.
Kind of
please.
red.
It's a warrant.
Owner.
Westbound 94.
It's a
Vic.
1/1/70 birthday.
Copy
It's
that.
definitely not.
Right.
A lot of people appreciate us being here, though. You know,
Yep.
Well, they know they feel a little safe getting their gas. Especially with all the carjackings going on. You just don't want to pull up, get some gas, and get bumped out of your car. Oh. It's definitely colder now.
Yeah, it is.
Just remember, 5% of Americans consume 50% of the alcohol.
Better location, please.
All right, let's pick a channel here.
370 copy.
I'll put this center one on 2. You're on 3.
I'm on 3.
I'll be on 1. You think I should get a good driving discount for driving all these extra miles and not having an accident?
Absolutely.
Or do you think that I should charge more for driving all these extra miles?
I say a good driving certificate.
Yeah.
I might put you in for one.
Yeah. I just probably never should have brought that up. You know how that goes. Clunk. We are on Rice Street, northbound. By the way, I want to go back real quick. Remember that, you know, my mother passed away, and I have tons of that furniture that she bought, antique furniture. According to the guy I was talking to, there's no market for any of that antique furniture anymore.
Really?
Yeah, apparently. See that sign right there? Right there. Okay. That's where she bought most of it. This place hasn't been open for 20 years. Right there. Karen Fabry.
Oh, yeah.
The Unusual Furniture Company. See, the unusual's in quotes. That hasn't been open for 20 years, but that sign's been sitting there.
Yeah.
I guess that furniture is just not popular. Everybody's going contemporary. Young people want IKEA, etc., etc. Which, by the way, my wife, I want to thank my wife because she bought some shelves.
Yeah.
I told you she was thinking of going to IKEA, right?
Yep.
And she went to IKEA, and the only thing I said is, ask for the instruction manual. If you can understand it, then get it.
You're a better person than me if you can understand an IKEA instruction manual.
So, thankfully, she didn't buy the IKEA shelves. Okay? You think shelves aren't that difficult. She ordered them from Macy's. Okay? And I can put Macy's stuff together.
Mm-hmm.
But the IKEA stuff, I think it's a secret. See that sign up there? Karen Fabry? Up there?
Yep.
In the building?
Yep.
I want to, anybody that knows the owner of Karen Fabry, I want the sign for a keepsake. It's been there for 20 years,
That'd
right?
be very cool.
I could light that up, put it somewhere as a memory of where my mother brought all her furniture, because I'm not going to have any of her furniture because clearly, according to the estate sale, so it doesn't sell. So I want to get the sign at least, right? I wonder what that sign would cost. The Unusual Furniture Store.
That'd be a cool one to have.
Yeah. And if anybody really wants some good Karen Fabry furniture, I don't even know if I'm pronouncing it right. When we have my mom's furniture estate sale, you can certainly come to my mom's house and get it. For a good price. Good price.
Bravo 368.
All right, you got some competition. Nick Padron wants
Bravo
it too.
368.
Oh, I shouldn't have mentioned the
Clear
damn
50 minutes.
sign. I knew this would happen. I started
Was
a
that
bidding war.
at 422? Was that a call that was pending for a while?
It's like the first rule. Don't start a land.
37.
What movie is that?
20, yeah.
He violated, where they say he violated one of the rules. Don't start a
I can hear
land
the
war in
TV
Asia.
working on it. I don't have it yet,
What
though.
movie is that from?
The Last Samurai?
No, it was a humorous saying that he. Somebody might know where the narrator says he violated one of the key rules in life, one of which is don't start a land war in Asia. Which is why you never take Asia when you're playing the board game Risk. You never take Asia; it's too hard to control.
370. Apparently, she left. But
For those
she's
of you
returning
Risk
and will be
players,
there in
chime
3 or
in
4
now
minutes.
because everybody knows if you hold the continent of Asia, you get 7 extra
Copy.
armies every turn.
1834.
Europe is only 5 extra armies.
The right to enter safe space at 1834.
Australia and Indonesia is like 3 or 2 or
Bravo
3.
263.
Bravo 263.
South America is 2. But the thing is, it's very tough to control all of Asia. You got too many borders to control.
Good, sir.
So what say you Risk players?
He's been out there a while. Do you mind trying to call back and see if he's still there?
Gene O'Brien inherited Karen Fabry.
Okay. You tell Jean that I would make her sign well known. When we open our restaurant, when we open our restaurant, we're going to have historical signs from all over St. Paul.
And we'll have the Karen Fabry room.
I think we will. Maybe we'll use that furniture for part of that. That's a good idea, Pat. Have a different room for different era.
Flat 499 at channel.
But we're not going to have an IKEA room. What are those? Finnish? What are Swedish? Swedish, right? IKEA?
Yeah, I believe
Swedish
so.
Company?
Swedish or Danish?
No, we're not having that. You got to build your own chair to eat in that room. I mean, the prices of IKEA are very reasonable. If you got somebody that can build it for you, great, go for it. But where's that plate from? There.
Ohio, I think.
We're still looking for a silver Jaguar, right?
Yep.
In 287, I tried calling to the front desk. If you could also check and make sure the front desk officer is okay. Tried to raise him on the air. He's not responding.
Copy. We'll do a welfare check when we get there.
Much appreciated. 1836.
Well, I gotta say, now that it's dark, I'm feeling more comfortable.
We're kind of at home now.
Yeah. There's
262 on my right.
a sudden peace that's come over the roadways.
Thank you. 1837.
But it sure was pretty earlier tonight, right?
Yeah, sunset's my favorite time of day.
Obviously, the busiest time, crime-wise, in any city is July and August. Those are the 2 busiest months for any city.
By far.
So then you work your way back from there. It's usually June. July and August, the busiest, then June. And then it starts, May, September. But then it kind of works to the fall, because fall is actually a time that people commit a lot of crime as darkness sets in, the economics of wanting something for Christmas, etc., robberies. So,
Copy that. At 1838.
but most of this whole trend starts in April. This year it might start a little earlier. So it's been a little quiet the last 2 months. Having said that, that Sunday we were online. We gotta try a Sunday after that playoff game. That was the highest number of live people that watched this ever on the Sunday. Sunday evening. So,
Yep.
and you know, it's the funny part about that. I was thinking about that last night because it was Sunday last night.
Yep.
What made me think about it? I'm flipping through the channels.
287.
I couldn't find anything I wanted to
BOA,
watch.
full morning.
There was no TV on. I mean, there was TV, but not anything.
Probably going to be checking for a...
Not a great TV night. Yeah,
No,
Sundays traditionally aren't.
But in the old days, they were, though. You know, remember NBC movie of the week, the Peacock.
The Sunday night movie.
Yeah, Sunday night movie, and it's all changed. I don't know. So maybe now I understand why.
Avenue East on a suspicious party walking through yard.
What's that?
Time now is 1839.
Let's get the address on that Hyacinth Avenue. What kind of car is that? That's not a Jaguar, is it? The one we just passed?
365, investigate.
And don't try not to embarrass me. I don't think it is a Jaguar, but it's a classic car.
Happy
What is
It's a
it?
Mercedes.
Mercedes. Well, there you go. Jaguar, Mercedes.
It's not bad, not bad. 694 is going to be the numbers.
On Hyacinth?
Yep.
Beautiful. It's a suspicious party?
364.
Aside.
364.
Trying to get back to it here. Hang on.
375's called, but if they'd like to cancel, I can do the area check here in just a minute when we get done with this
Go
deal.
on there. Well, we're going to go
375,
here.
give me clear.
What 375 we're on scene. Thank you, though.
Copy on scene. And 364, 370, we're not able to reach the caller to meet at the address.
Somebody walked through their yard
Copy.
from the alley and started walking eastbound on Hyacinth. Unknown race male, 20, 6 foot, thin build, gray hoodie and jeans.
We're at what, 700 here, so he's just a block east of us here.
You remember this little
Yep,
island
this is where
here?
we spotted that. We won't go that way, but
Right in this area.
this is where we spotted that stolen Explorer right through there.
Time to go to night mode.
Alright. So all we got really is a suspicious call. We're at Hawthorne, Orange is the next street, then Hyacinth. Young man's walking east on Hyacinth. The thing is, he walked through someone's yard. I mean, and it's not easy to walk through somebody's yard because almost all these yards are, you know, contained. Tough to know the time delay, but if it's much, it'll be way past, well past us. You see anything down there?
Somebody's flashing their light at us. Or is that an alarm?
I don't know. That's a flashing light, but I don't think it's an alarm. Could it be?
Let's see if there's an alarm pending.
Isn't that a good idea? What's the address there? Can you tell? You got the old light.
746.
Go down here
And then it went out.
I'll
As soon as I shined my light at it, it went out.
pull down the alley too. Let's just see it. So, young man walking east from 695. I see a flashing light at 746. I'm trying to put the puzzles together. Sometimes alarms do have flashing lights that go off. Or it might have just been someone walking through the yard too.
Nothing impending.
My lights have been flashing lately. I don't know what it is. I mean, gotta get them fixed. I don't know if there's a short in one of them.
At your
or what.
house?
Yeah, my house. I'm afraid the neighbors are gonna think that I got an alarm going off. You know? What was that? I think I just went through. deep slush pool. So there's a squad behind us now. We'll just let them know who we are. Is that a woman? Ask her if she knows what that light, why the light's flashing.
Do the lights, will you? Say, ma'am? Ma'am? Is that an alarm?
I'm actually watching.
Huh.
No, that's my house. My sister says that the ring light went off or expired.
Oh, okay.
So it does that annoying flashing.
Okay.
Just looking to see how we can fix it.
Okay.
Looks like I need to replace the whole unit.
Oh, no.
Sorry about that.
Hey,
No.
that's okay.
Thanks for watching.
Well, Denmark is checking in saying hello, and Sweden is saying that IKEA is theirs.
Oh, pretty funny. Well, I'm gonna go check this anxious Impala out here. He's a little over the speed limit, but
The one two ahead of us?
yeah. Did he just pull into the holiday?
Nope, he's getting ready to turn left on Wheelock. I'm pretty sure that's an Impala turning left.
Yeah. So you're teaching me, you're helping me with cars. I don't know that we'll be able to catch him in this particular traffic, but
What? 279.
With the squad to Breakenback, 275 Hall Street. Color's 21-year-old grandson is having mental health concerns and is at the kitchen table and has been being violent with caller. Name is James Curtis, 21-year-old male, 5'5", wearing a green t-shirt and black shorts.
He's gone.
it's funny how words can change the meaning. When you heard the word grandson, you're thinking, oh, okay, this kid's 12 to 16, right?
Right.
And then suddenly he's 21.
At 1846.
Different things connote different things.
And it doesn't sound at all funny to me because I've got a 21-year-old grandson and granddaughter.
Well, there is that. There is that.
Yeah, that Impala is gone.
Well, it might be up there. We'll see. I think you're probably right, but
Well, we thought the Explorer was gone the other night too, and lo and behold, we got up to it.
same route. We got cars here at 575 East Nebraska. Nothing. Maybe
Nope.
that's the. What is that there?
That's the Charger that's
Always there.
always there, and actually got stolen a little while back in a display of karma.
So you might see Pat and I just popping on periodically during the week. We're certainly going to pop on this next month during the week a little bit, just to give you an overview of what's taking place. We're going to be in touch with Sheriff Hutchinson too about what's happening over there in Minneapolis and ready to back him up. Sheriff Hutch, if you're listening, Sheriff Dave Hutchinson, give me a call right now. We can
279.
let us know how your preparations are going.
Your incident has been updated.
Like to hear from you.
I'm going to put a name and date of birth in the call. I think it's going to be related to your call.
You saw earlier on the earlier broadcast some of our preparations around our law enforcement center.
Felony warrant for obstructing the legal process.
Let me just say that let me just say clearly and distinctly,
Copy.
most of the
279
major
Officer Safety, that assault was on a
troublemakers will come from out of town.
Copy.
Most of the people intent on
1848.
destroying and burning things will come from out of town. Most of the destruction comes from the anti-government folks that really like to bring down government and have decided that they're going to participate in the anti-police protests, but in reality they're against all government in general.
Right.
So yeah, it's been clear that, you know, bulk of the arsonists that were charged last time and were actually not from here, or not part of the Black Lives Matter movement even.
We'll pause for just a second here. I want to ask you a question about this.
Mute?
Nope, don't even need to mute. It said our incident was updated, and I don't show us on an incident.
Well, there you have it. What does it say? Well,
I'm on as 2755.
Scroll down there. Backwards, which is fine. Keep going. There you go. Somehow you're en route to Mississippi. Here's what you can do though. Click on more. Oops. Click on more. And then click on status and then click available.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure you're aware. 279-287 are headed to 675 Hall Street. And for a disorderly male with mental health issues, be advised he does have a felony warrant for assaulting police officers.
Oh, it was just a
and 279, they're requesting you use the back door off the morning. Okay. 1851.
Must have hit the en route
by
mistake.
What's happened to me? Well, let's head out into Maplewood for a minute, huh?
Yeah.
See what's happening.
I am at the LAC.
Yeah, I know. Let's see what happens here. The research shows, I told you I did research that I don't know how they even find this, but you know, when you click on our Google Analytics, somehow they are able to analyze the people watching us.
Yeah.
And of course, you know, there's some interesting facts and figures, but the one that struck me is that, oh Jesus, that the most popular time for people that watch us to watch YouTube, it doesn't mean they're watching us, it means they're watching other tube, is between 7 and 9 o'clock, which surprised me, you know, because I was thinking we had a later night group.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people that watch us watch other stuff on YouTube between 7 and 9. Now, we're not at 7 o'clock yet, but...
Interesting.
So, I take that means a lot of them would probably like us starting at 7.
Yeah, that
check
makes
your
sense.
comments on there and see what they think. If a lot of them say they'd rather start at 7, but I think because that's 7 to 9 Central Time, it may be because East Coast people
could be
would rather have us watch, and there's a lot of people from the East Coast. We're northbound on McMenemy, headed into Maplewood. So this would be a good night to kind of get the feel for what time people actually do watch.
Yeah.
Right. County Road B. Jeez, I read in the paper that I didn't read what they're going to do, but the water department's going to do a multi-million-dollar upgrade to the water treatment down here on Roseland. Did you see that?
No.
Oh my goodness.
4478 traffic.
4478, go ahead.
You just Google it really quick.
Be going white here.
St. Paul water utility upgrade.
Well, we've got, so far, there's 3 for 7 p.m. and none against.
Well, we'll see. If you guys that want it earlier, if you share it now to your friends, we'll know, because if we get a big increase in viewers between 7 and 8, we'll know that. What is that up there? That flashing? Is that must be a plane? No, it's kind of weird how the light follows.
Mm-hmm.
So, Nikki, change location to Burke and Winter.
Copy.
Click the news tab.
McCarran's plant improvements?
Yeah, what's it say? Is that a news story?
That's a St. Paul story.
Yeah.
January, they began an exciting project aimed at upgrading the water treatment plant.
Does it say the amount? One of those stories said the amount. It was like, I don't know.
Try and find a news story here.
If you scroll down here, man, hit that news tab.
629 on investigate.
629, go ahead.
New $160 million water treatment plant, and there will be a 25% rate increase.
Yeah, that's a 25% rate increase. Well, I mean, I'm fascinated by water treatment, and if it's needed, it's needed. But I guess the question becomes, is there something not being filtered out of our water now that we should know about?
Well, they have a picture here of a 135-foot diameter clarifier tank.
I've been in there.
And it says it's one of 2 in the plant.
Yep.
And they hold 2.6 million gallons of water each.
What else did it say there? I wonder if they're changing the technology. That's what I'd be interested in. Is the water purification technology changing? Like, are they going to put a bunch of those filters like they're on your faucet?
If operational, the deep mixing basins would be stirring alum and quicklime into water pumped in from Lake Vadnais. The fine particles clump loosely together to form flock.
Yep.
And giant paddles stir the mix so it's smooth enough to drink. Softening is one step among many in getting 39 million gallons of clean drinking water each day into the homes and businesses of more than 425,000 paying customers in East Metro. But right now, those particular 2-story basins stand idle and empty.
No way. Why is that?
Trying to read here.
4470 clear traffic.
So 2 of their basins are empty.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. Southbound on Rice Street, folks.
It's time to erect a new water treatment plant for the East Metro. As he says, we're in the forever business. We have to be here.
4496, 4498 Tango.
I'm listening.
Rates are going to gradually increase by 2024. The average water customer will pay $392 a year, up from $313 a year today. That's not bad.
No, I mean, we're talking a couple bucks a month when you add that up. The 25% scares you, but when you hear
the actual dollar amount,
average water customer, it's a different figure. But for those of you familiar with our water system, just a short review. So, our water is by and large captured through a series of lakes. Starts with Charlie Lake in North Oaks, Pleasant Lake, and then works its way down to Sucker Lake, works its way down to Vadnais Lake, and then in Vadnais Lake it's captured by the water department in large 5-foot tubes, which are underground and then come down to this plant that we're going into on Roselawn. Now, a lot of times water fills the lakes up enough and the water runoff that they can capture water from the lakes, but when there isn't enough water, there are large culverts. Is culvert the right word?
Culverts, yeah.
Culverts that bring water in from the Mississippi River north of downtown Minneapolis. So, but this is the current water treatment plant, and there's large basins back here, underwater basins that you can, underground basins that you can visit.
Well, it says this project is going to be the most massive of its kind ever in Minnesota history.
Confirmation number. So they got upset trying to make release. She's outside wearing that white t-shirt.
So it's a big, obviously there's nothing more important than clean, fresh water. And it's a tremendous operation that the St. Paul Water Utility runs. I mean, they do a great job. But the science is kind of interesting of creating water. We're lucky here because our water from our lakes and our water from the Mississippi River is relatively clean. But every agency or utility down the Mississippi River has to go through an extensive water treatment of all the water that we put in there. And obviously, we treat the water before it goes back into the river. But let's just pretend we don't know how the water is used before then. Yes. Is it on the freeway or down on Goose Lake by the bar? Okay. Is the troopers coming too or not?
910.
Okay.
Can you please have 364 call me at 5627?
This one I'm taking it.
Yeah, it's a ways away, so I probably won't. Got a call on the freeway there at 35E in Goose Lake, a woman screaming. I'm not exactly sure what that means. It's a person in crisis, one way or the other.
Right. That is a ways off.
So that is the St. Paul Water Utility, 1900 Rice Street. They do an awesome job treating our water. We got the best water in the country, probably the most reliable source. The Mississippi River, the chain of lakes above us here.
I've had the water in a lot of big cities in this country, and I sincerely believe we have also the best tasting water, best tasting tap water of anywhere.
Now, not all the cities in Ramsey County use this water. As I mentioned, when I was the mayor of Vadnais Heights, we had our own well system and our own water system. There are a lot of cities that have their own wells and water systems, but there is discussion about expanding the St. Paul water utility to include cities that previous to that weren't connected. And the reason for that is this ongoing debate about where should the water come from. Should the drinking water come from wells and potentially deplete the aquifer, or should the drinking water come from surface water of lakes and rivers, and then so the aquifers remained intact? And that debate was really hot during the White Bear Lake water level discussion, because when the White Bear Lake water level dropped 6 to 10 feet, the question was, why is that happening, and is it because the aquifers are being depleted, causing a lower ground level water to be created? So now that White Bear Lake is back up, that discussion and debate isn't taking place. But somewhere, if you're a young person, somewhere in your lifetime, that discussion about where to best bring the water for people will come up. And I'm definitely not a water expert. The biggest cost, of course, is trying to build new pipes to extend St. Paul water utility into those areas that don't have water. And that's not even a part of that 160 million. That's just fixing the plant that they have. But you watch what happened in Houston, and you contaminate your water treatment, and you're out of water, ladies and gentlemen, and nothing like the third largest city in America being out of water. Missing something?
Do you have your cord for the MDC in here?
I think so. I think that's, but I thought that's yours. Isn't it yours on the floor there?
No, mine, I don't have mine. I didn't.
There's one under the seat then.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure if it's the same.
I'm not sure if they're compatible or not, but I'm going to find out.
You want me to pull over and get a burger? I mean, you want me to pull over?
I would like you to pull in the Super America real quick, if you could.
Yeah, you can do that.
That'll give me a chance. I have to run in real quick. And
right after those hotcakes at Arby's.
I love those potato cakes.
How can you beat those potato cakes? I mean, it's so pure. You can't ruin a potato cake. It's the same every time. Right?
I bet twice a week in high school I'd go to Arby's and I'd get 2 beef and cheddars, 2 potato cakes, and a pink lemonade.
Yep. Yep. I'm gonna be right here.
Okay.
For you. You going in?
Yep.
I'll be back.
And I'm gonna look for the cord real quick under the seat before I go in.
Oh yeah. I think it's right there. It's connected to that black square.
Okay. Oh, I see it.
Whether it fits in your plug or not is a whole other issue.
Exactly.
You don't have yours though, right?
No, I do not.
Nope.
It does not.
It's all right.
Okay, I'll be right back.
We don't need no stinking CAD.
We'll do it old school style.
Yeah, that's right. So, there's a couple different versions of computer-aided dispatch. Some are the old tough books from Panasonic. and some of them are newer from Dell, and I have an adapter for the Panasonic in here, but Pat has the Dell version. I didn't bring mine, so we are out of power. We're at the Speedway up on Rice Street, just north of Highway 36 in the town of Roseville.
We'll be at McKnight and Bush. There's all those 099 X-ray
And I am gonna run in there and grab something too. You guys listen to the radio for a minute. Let us know if you see any suspicious activity. Thanks for joining us. You guys are awesome. Make sure I got the keys.
Detroit 7 out of the jail.
1909.
178.
We'll be out at Victorian University with the naked nail on the light rail platform. And if you could start transit.
Happy eastbound or westbound?
Westbound.
Take Union westbound platform, I'll let them know. $178. Squad 178.
Go ahead.
Routine response, or do you want them emergent?
Routine's fine.
We copy that 1811.
And if you can start medics to our location, he's going through some crisis. For code 4. $385, we're not far off. We'll head there once we...
4493 single traffic. Go ahead. 61 and Rose 1 with Whiskey 1700. 61 and Rose 1 at 1912.
And 530, if you can air the case number for me, please, on the way to your squad.
530 affirmative. That case number is 041744. And the time.
Squad that came back 4493 Tango till they're close for.
447, I get back from PD.
1912.
Okay. Well,
2354.
no cherry pies in there.
Man.
No cherry. Who's that guy? He's animated. No cherry pies inside the Speedway. Must have been a run on pies.
Oh, yes.
By the way, speaking of run on, there was a story in that book.
Your street book?
Street book. It was very interesting. You know, there's some DeLoss. That's what it was. Where's the book? Did we get the book?
Yep.
This is the story about the West Side, which I found fascinating. Maybe if you don't mind reading it.
Not at all.
The DeLoss Street over there on the west side. The west side is on the west side of the river, but it's just interesting history. DeLoss Montfort, 1835 to 1899. Now, this is a fascinating story. He was a prominent banker.
364 arriving.
I'll leave the rest to you. This guy saved people's lives.
DeLoss Montfort first traveled through St. Paul in 1854, which is when St. Paul was actually first established as a city. Came back in 1857, beginning with Charles McCubbin, another street name, McCubbin,
Yep.
and Erastus Edgerton, another street name.
Yep.
In their banking house, he subsequently became cashier for the Second National Bank, with which he remained off and on for the remainder of his career. In his early years at People's Bank, he won an extraordinary race to St. Peter, Minnesota.
Now picture this. The bank, there's a run on the banks, and your bank is going to be destabilized because you don't have enough money to pay your people. But they have notes, they want to get their money, and you have bank notes on another bank. So he's got to run to St. Peter by horseback.
Because he knew they had $5,000 in gold as a redemption
And
fund.
he has the cash notes for that $5,000, but whoever gets there first is going to get them from all the banks. So I'm sorry for interrupting.
Yeah,
So
that's
keep
all
reading.
right. Its messenger, DeLoss A. Montfort, gathered up $5,000 of the Nicollet banknotes and set out for St. Peter on horseback, riding 3 horses to exhaustion and not drawing a bridle to save to make the relays. He passed every other carrier on the road, made the 78 miles in 8 hours on horseback. He secured the gold. The following morning, he set out and returned to St. Paul just in time. There was a run on the People's Bank, and the last dollar was in sight when Cashier Montfort staggered in with his heavy pair of saddlebags. The reinforcement was believed to consist of $25,000 instead of $5,000. The run subsided and was soon over.
There you have it. There you have it. Fascinating little piece of history for Mr. DeLoss, right?
Yeah.
I'll look at that street the same way ever again.
Never.
And who thinks they were going to change those streets to ABCs? You want anything?
Just one plain cheeseburger. Nothing else.
Plain, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
How can I help you?
We would like 3 plain cheeseburgers.
3 plain cheeseburgers?
3 plain cheeseburgers.
Anything else?
That's it.
Anything else?
No, that's it. Thank you.
6 or 7 first order. Thank you.
So just in case you decided you wanted 2, Pat, I got you an extra one.
Always thinking of the other guy.
Yeah.
3 plain cheeseburgers?
Yep.
607.
How are you tonight?
I'm good, how are you?
Good. You got your jacket on. Is it cold in there?
A little bit.
Gonna be nice tomorrow.
Yep. Tomorrow I'm gonna offer myself to be in the window.
Oh yeah, good idea. So you can, yeah, good idea.
Have a good one.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Well, here's a rear end of a vehicle to remember, the Kia Seltos.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen that car before.
I've heard of them. I don't think I ever saw one until now.
463.
All right.
We can't get fries because they make too much noise to eat.
Well, they're not good for us.
Because we are kind of health food fanatics.
Yeah. Yeah. We are. We're connoisseurs of great fast food. All right, so let's find out if it's true that people like watching. I don't think I got that. But you know what? My son would love that blue Frosty though. That's his favorite thing. You too, thank you. Well, excuse us for munching on a nice soft cheeseburger. The reason we didn't get the pickles is so you wouldn't have to listen to the crunch.
Information the county was on a medical at 350 Coral Drive. 79-year-old female does conscious and breathing with a high blood pressure. She just had a COVID shot in 1919. Traffic. 8194. 7th Street, Inca, 8 Nora Boy, 854. $81.94, copy 7th Street. What was your cross? You can use 23rd Ave. Copy.
5362 Daniel, you clears from the range and add up to give us a minute. Assist medical agency.
Copy. Little squads, check your laptops for a use caution, officer safety, weapons involved, ATL cops alert out of Minneapolis, or Hennepin County rather. Check your laptops at 1920.
Well, she's gone.
7130.
I'll be better prepared next time.
We don't always need that cat.
178, this will be clear advised with 165.
So if you're not going to eat that cheeseburger that I ordered for you, you know. If you're not
You know, why don't you have it? I don't think I'm going to have it.
That's really, you know what, you're a nice guy.
7130.
1921.
Tommy Arnold, when he would train in a new officer as an FTO, at least once during their training phase with him, he'd call dispatch and tell them, give them all the calls over the air, like, you know, the old school. And he'd turn off and shut his laptop computer.
Good for
To
you.
get him into the habit of looking at what was going on around him.
Good for him.
Copy.
Well, get too reliant on those things.
Mm-hmm.
$44.93 Tango. 44.93 Tango. Phone call request on a harassment for 2669 Germain Court North, where the caller received inappropriate videos from an unknown suspect. 44.93 Tango, copy. 1922. $690. Can I get an available squad to Door Lane and Door Court West? It's going to be for an unoccupied Dakota County stolen. Sharing information to squads on a hit and run that occurred on the east side of St. Paul at 1350 Larpenteur. Suspect vehicle of 788 X-ray Kilo Whiskey. Honda Civic versus a fence. Driver fled, walking on clearance towards Maryland about 5 minutes ago. An Asian male, short, wearing a white t-shirt with tan pants. For the squads at 1923.
You get the impression he fled on foot?
Yes.
Had that Popeyes Louisiana chicken. Do you like that? Is that any good? Or do you like...
It's okay in a pinch. I'll tell you though, I'll get something going here. Their fried chicken sandwich.
At Popeyes?
Mm-hmm. Get the spicy one.
With Mike Golf Yankee 406.
And get lots of pickles.
Okay.
I copy Mike Golf Yankee County Road B. Mike Golf Yankee 406 at White Bear in County Road B at 1924.
So which do you like better, backseaters? Do you like riding around when you got your sunglasses on in the daytime, shielding yourself from that bright blue sky? Or do you like riding around at nighttime under the cover of darkness, where no one can tell who's in the back seat? Which is it? Which is it? Are you a beach boy backseater, or are you a night walker?
My location, White Bear and Burke.
Night walker.
Copy 1925.
Pat and I always consider ourselves a little bit of, I don't know what we'd call. We're not really Count Draculas, but we do like working at night. He's the count. You're the Count of Clear Right, so you can't be Count Dracula. We're back on Rice Street, southbound of Geranium. Been a very slow but peaceful day today in the beautiful saintly city of St. Paul. Which, by the way, some of that history of how St. Paul got its name, and where the first St. Paul little cathedral was. It's all in that book. There's a cave over on the Mississippi River that Pierre Pigzay Parent, one of the first traders up here, used to hide his wares in. Thankfully, the town wasn't called Pierre Pigzay.
Although, as a settlement, it did carry the name Pigzay for a while.
Right. No doubt.
446.
Go ahead.
Courtesy ride to one adult female to White Bear and Bush.
Copy 1927.
Tony's in there cooking pizza non-stop. I did get a message here while we were stopped from Ray Hobbs' mother, saying that they haven't charged.
377. PJ Minnesota. Charlie Golf Whiskey 002.
They haven't finally decided on when the funeral's going to be. They're working on a possible.
1370, checking your status.
benefit date as well.
There's background noise. Checking your status on the property.
Go for it.
Copy code 4. Thanks for joining in.
Well, sadly,
181, I'll be on.
we're gonna drive down Winnipeg, Manitoba, on our last day of winter, the official last day of winter, March 1st. And then you'll see how quiet it is tonight. And how busy it will become as the weather gets better. And about to turn down Winnipeg from Park Street.
I'll have to put your assist.
375.
375, code 4.
Copy. Would you be able to start to assist on a burglary? Hasn't walked through the house, came home to the front latch open, no lights on. They're waiting outside in the vehicle with their child.
375, 109.
Can see if you're available to start for a burglary.
Some of our viewers
front latch open, no lights on.
have started counting.
Inside the vehicle that they're
Did
waiting
you see
on.
that?
Counting.
Hand me what was just in your hand for a minute. No, they texted me.
Oh,
They texted me. They're counting. They're counting.
4493 Tango, checking your...
375.
Every time they hear this,
Thank you, 93.
they're counting.
Well, sometimes it doesn't work.
Copy,
Well,
area
no.
control.
No, but they're counting how many cigarettes, by how many times the lighter.
Go
But
for
I
it.
want them to know that sometimes you're just lighting the lighter.
Sometimes I just play with it.
You're just playing with the lighter, so it's really not a fair judgment.
Right.
Right. They should know that
12.
from an evidentiary perspective, to prove something, you have to show that it
Copy
isn't
at
just
1930.
that the gun's being cocked. You have to prove that the bullet's being fired, right?
That's right.
So, in Pat's defense, Your Honor, Your Honor, there's
199.
zero evidence that that is being used to light a cigarette.
Absolutely.
Can you change this to a domestic? 385.
199
How'd I do?
Tow truck stress
That was
drive, and
excellent.
hopefully they'll get it up on the truck.
And I'm sticking to it.
375, and we'll have everything. Tow truck clears. 199.
375.
Priority 2. What, 375? Not too cooperative, Tom.
35 is canceling from the bird. If you could send start for suspicious at Waver and Larpenter. Request is over crossover with no license plate and was concerned about a large group traveling inside the vehicle at a slow rate of speed.
Copy that. Thank you, 385.
Turn up for the suspicious, the 1932. We're not be tangoing code 4.
Yeah, just send her a text.
629, that's
what I was going to do, but mine seems to be faulty.
375, you're clear, that's suspicious.
Thank you, 629.
1932.
Patient is alert. And awake.
375.
Maybe we should get a hold of the O'Brien woman and turn the Karen Fabry into a restaurant.
375, we're here.
Try this again. I got assistance on 376 Mariah Avenue. Unit approved, trying to get belongings back. Should be waiting out in a red if you have concern.
What, 375 receipt?
Well, I'm going to make one more run to the east side, Pat, and then I think we'll see what happens. Then we'll go to the barn.
To the barn.
Because there's just not enough activity here. But tomorrow is the beginning of a warming period. We'll get out more.
Check for squad 199. Sounds like I gotta check a different call. Hold on.
We have no buffering issues. We had no overheating issues.
None at all.
Just that one shut-off issue.
Yep.
10-180, you can do that welfare check at 942 St. Clair, number B, Marvel for 199. There are comments in the call.
Did you see that page that was put out on the suspect's name being Amber? I was starting to wonder if that was a mistake, like it was from Amber Larson.
Yeah, that was the where the car got stolen, right?
Could it be the same Amber? We only know one Amber, right? I mean, his name is really Ember. Remember the guy from?
I think this was a female, though.
Okay. That would be a clue.
That would be a clue. Oh, you know what? I took a shot off the board of it.
Okay. We got a text on it too. By the way, you remember you got
2363.
You folks remember?
2363.
Remember when we were over there on Payne and Geranium, searching for the people that had crashed the cars on Edgerton? That was our last time we were out. 1100 block of Edgerton, a stolen car taken in a carjacking, crashed at Payne and Geranium. 2 suspects fled. The helicopter was up. You were over there with us when we were sitting around and people were looking. The helicopter had a forward-looking infrared, was using the FLIR to find heat signatures. And unfortunately, to make the officer's job twice as hard, they found a heat signature, and it was actually that independent journalist that, I'll leave his name off this, but the point is that you have a journalist interfering with a search by getting inside the perimeter and then trying to follow the officers with a video camera.
And then was hiding behind a fence.
Hiding behind a fence, and they had to go check them out because they thought it was the suspect from a carjacking. Can you imagine how that could have gone downhill if they would have ended up using force on someone hiding behind a fence? So this is my message to independent journalists. It's fine that you videotape, stay out on a public street, do not come inside a perimeter, and allow the officers to do their job, because anything that obstructs their ability to go catch a real criminal can be considered obstructing the legal process. So knows who I'm talking about, and just make sure that does not happen again.
832.
So
we'll be clear of that.
Bad deal.
Big thanks to the detail 910 K9.
Yeah, be sure there's something.
Well, a lot of people are guessing that individual's name.
Just like the Music Man song. Starts with T and that rhymes with P, and that stands for pool. Right here at River City. I love musicals. 76 strong.
You can mark this advice.
We are southbound on Edgerton at Geranium.
Squad 371, checking your status. Copy, go for it. Thank you, Jordan.
It's like the guy that buys an elephant gun and brings it home. And his friends come over and says, "What on earth? What do you got an elephant gun for?" He said, "For killing elephants." I said, "Wow. You don't have any elephants in your neighborhood?" I said, "Well, must be working." So the point is, we must be doing something right, Pat.
Yep.
There's no crime going on tonight or yesterday, right?
Something to it.
Something to it. We're doing something right. I mean, not just obviously us, but I mean law enforcement in general is making some difference here.
For sure.
So anyhow, don't be surprised if we just pop online during the daytime if we get all our work done for other stuff we got to do. I got a great team at the top, though. I got to tell you that Mike Martin, he was participated in that press conference. Under Sheriff Mike Martin got tons of experience at Minneapolis and the University of Minnesota. Kyle Meestead handled the agenda review with the budget. Just does a great job. Tina McNamara, Under Sheriff of the Courts, helped articulate our need for additional court services. Bill Finney's doing a great job managing the jail. So you got a good team. You can. What's great about it, allows me some flexibility to get out on the street. I clearly you can't be out here more than 10, 12 hours a week, but it is it's nice to have the flexibility to get out on the street.
So Devin, who's a regular backseater with us, our prayers are with your brother Aaron, who had to go into the hospital today with some breathing issues.
Oh, it's terrible.
4493 single. Clear traffic. Shoot warning.
Nothing worse than not being able to get air. I'd rather have pain. Agony.
Yeah, definitely.
Shortness of breath.
This deal, they're out with an unoccupied Hastings stolen. He does help recovery that. Thank you. Copy GOA. Anybody?
Well, good news, St. Paul. There isn't much going on tonight. We are eastbound on Case from Forest in the heart of St. Paul's east side, passing the street of Russell, Cypress. Those of you that texted us periodically about the hood bouncing, I know some people even thought the hood was loose, but that's just the technology of being able to keep the image in front of us straight. and everything else moves around. So
Yeah, the hood is not loose.
but it's fascinating how well that stabilization system works.
Mm-hmm.
Got a couple different layers of stabilization, but it's doing good. Every once in a while you get up on the hill like this, you can see all the way to Minneapolis. See the landscape over there? It's pretty cool.
Clear day, you can see Minneapolis.
133.
Well, here's Bush Street. I mentioned that's tied to the CEO of 3M, Mr. Bush. At Bush and Earl, they had a lot of 3M business. Eventually, of course, formed the Bush Foundation. Amazing company, 3M. Well, we did, Pat and I did have some conversation about not going live as much in the wintertime, but we just decided that you might as well get the real feel for, is the YouTube working, Pat, on yours or what?
Let me take a look.
Might as well get the real feel of what it's like when it's not busy.
Yep, we're good.
How many people are on YouTube right now?
729.
Doesn't seem right, does it?
Mm-mm.
April 7th.
No, I'm sorry. That was wrong. 5,900.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but I guess the alternative is not working in the less busy parts of the season, but it's probably good for you to get to feel for, what's going on in the non-busy times too. So.
I mean, even on a non-busy day like today, there was a man with a gun arrested, 2 men with guns arrested, a shootout between 2 cars coming off the highway. So, slow is kind of a relative term, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm replacing 4 door.
Is that what kind of car is that? Okay.
Good looking out.
It's a good front end. How's everybody doing today?
Paying respects?
Huh?
Paying respects? Sorry for your loss.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
Terrible thing.
Huh?
Terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible thing.
We've known the family a long time. Yeah, 40 years.
40 years.
Yep, not right.
No, I know the other brother, too. Casey.
Yep.
Yeah. Knew his mom and grandma too.
Really?
Oh yeah. Well, Dale, I used to, we knew Dale when they were young. Dale and Felicia Feiner. And Felicia.
That's my aunt.
Felicia.
Alicia?
Alicia's your Alicia. There's Francine and then there's Alicia, right?
Yep.
And Ashley's the sister. So it's a terrible deal.
Yeah, it's a messed up world we living in.
You're not lying.
Yeah, Jennifer texted me earlier tonight. I'm friends with her on Facebook, and they don't have the date set, but they're trying to get the benefits set up on the 6th to the 7th. But I don't know. I just hope nobody else gets shot, huh?
Yeah.
Enough's enough.
It's been going on for how long?
Too long.
Well, to be accurate, about 20 years.
20 years?
Ham Crazy versus Selby.
Yeah.
Yeah. 20.
That's before my time.
I know.
That's way before my time.
Now it's all the subsets, Subsets. It's a sad deal. But this one wasn't Selbyers, this was just you know what it was. So hopefully nobody will retaliate. But hopefully those West Side gangs will shut their mouths up too, right?
Talking too much stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not into it. I don't look at it.
Well,
I don't associate.
It's a good thing.
A lot of people end up with bullets when they're into that life. That's the sad part. It's the sad, sad, sad part.
Wish we could take it back to the old days where they just meet up at a park and fight.
Are you just making that up, or do you remember those days?
Yeah, I remember those days.
Yeah?
Anything after that, I think I called it quits. I think I tapped out back then.
Smart man.
Yeah. Do you know Demontria Davis, the basketball coach?
Huh?
Demontria Davis? King?
I don't think so.
King
I don't go to the schools out here.
Oh, where'd you grow up? What part of town?
South St. Cloud.
Oh, St. Cloud?
Yeah, I went all the way out to St. Cloud. I moved around.
Smart. So, are you living back here now or what?
Sometimes.
Is she keeping you out of trouble?
Oh, yeah.
Huh, girl? Are you keeping them out of trouble?
Yeah.
Hang on to her.
Yeah.
She's keeping.
Yeah.
Indeed.
All right, you guys have a nice night. Our
Take
condolences again.
Okay, you too.
Thank you.
See you now.
don't think we'll swing back to the office. Go to the barn there, Pat, unless something happens.
I think so.
781, scuffling sounds, and female screaming. Still working on the weapons.
I'm going to put this on 3.
177, copy, we're on scene now.
Copy that. 1953.
Well, here's what we're going to do. In about 10 minutes, Pat and I are going to sign off for the night. But, having said that, if something serious takes place later,
we'll be back on.
We'll jump on. So, we'll just play it by ear. Probably at the rate of what's going on here, we probably won't jump on, but you know, it's not the first time that one shift would be completely quiet, and then the next shift be the opposite.
Police advised. Can you put us on 1591 Sloan with 2 unoccupied stolen vehicles?
Oh, good for him.
1591 Sloan, copy.
Well, there's obviously a dump spot up there on Sloan.
And if you went through the yards...
35, can you add Minnesota Echo, Juliet Papa 991, and then Minnesota Delta Yankee Victor 897?
Copy them both, 1955.
And if you went to the yards...
If that Explorer, if they'd gone through the yards, that'd be right where they'd have been.
Yeah. 4431, clear report.
Clear report at 1955.
Part of the reason we can't talk as much as we'd like to about some of these cases is because the kids are 15. In Minnesota, if they're charged with a felony, actually their names become public if they're 16, but not at 15.
And I got a few texts that were sort of complaining about us going on mute sometimes.
379.
We do that
379.
specifically for situations like that,
Report with
where we're discussing a juvenile 15 or younger,
hang on, 510 Wiper.
or sometimes there's very sensitive information that hasn't been released to the public yet that we're not at liberty to share.
Right.
But we try to limit it as much as we can, just so you know.
Yep. We can't really not use due diligence when it comes to shielding people's identity when they're a child or a vulnerable person. So,
Copy,
now
1957.
for a regular adult that chooses to break the law and gets arrested, has got no particular right to anonymity. Hey, I wonder if the farmer's market will open up again.
I hope so.
When the COVID's over here this spring. That would be fun, huh?
I like our farmer's market.
Crazy, but in addition to the food down here, my wife brings home those glass bottles full of chocolate milk. You ever had those? It's there's a farm. I don't know which farm it is. It's a farm down in southern Minnesota where they produce their own chocolate milk, and it's
good stuff.
Scrumptious. My friend Cy Vang still sells his groceries down here. Does an awesome job.
264.
One of the first Hmong farmers in the farmers
He
market.
checked the area around the 300 block of Sherman Street for a 911. Male gave name, then said his family members were harassing him. Name is Elvin Johnson.
Joker. Copy.
1958.
Oh, we just got told that the farmer's market was actually open last Sunday.
St. Paul?
Yeah.
Really? Well, good. I guess I thought everything got shut down here for a while. That's good. Well, it's going to be warm this Sunday, 50 degrees.
Yeah.
Should be good.
57, you're clear.
I don't know how they grow anything right now.
Copy, thank you.
I suppose
No
it's
need of a
got indoor stuff, huh?
1959.
Is that Explorer? How did I do there?
Good. That's an Explorer. Very good.
It's black though, huh?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, they found that one.
Oh, that's right. It was running. Yeah, you're right.
Good looking out.
I was good on those 1980 Cutlasses and Monte Carlos.
Cars each were very distinguishable from each other back then.
Yeah. Well, they had less manufacturers too.
That too.
It's a confusing roadway here.
It really is.
Got a bike lane, you got a no driving lane. Well, let's see how our fence preparation is coming along, huh?
Yeah.
365, traffic.
365.
Maryland, west of Lorient, with a silver Chevy Trailblazer, no plates.
Copy, Maryland, west of Lorient, 2000.
All right, backseaters, thanks for hanging with us today. Appreciate your friendship and your genuine interest in what's going on out here.
I'll give you a plate here in a second.
You'll see some of the construction going on here, some new barriers.
Suspect vehicle clearance and Larpenter
drive
with 788 X-ray King William.
Take a look at the progress.
Clearance and Larpenter, spotted back 4481.
4490 Tango, you can send me towards 81's location.
Well, they put a lot in a short period of time down here.
4481, vehicle occupied out, need backup.
Copy, 7893 Tango, you're clear.
Medium build, dark pants, black shoes. Suspect came back and is now outside Comp's garage. Comp is in garage with his 6-year-old. Comp does not want to get out of his car since he has a child.
Definitely ruins the view of a beautiful building, but everything has its purpose and time.
Saves that beautiful building in the long run,
180.
potentially.
180.
Advised, cancel on 6-3. Copy, thank you, fellas.
53 at the LPT.
20 on 10.
Can you put me on PPB in the area of 36504?
That would be code for the stop.
There's just no excuse any longer for not being prepared.
No, there's not.
And after what happened last year in Minneapolis and this year at the United States Capitol, there's just no excuse. The public's expectation is that we will be ready for different contingencies. We don't want to see another precinct burned to the ground.
Exactly.
That's the bottom line.
All right. I guess this is it, huh?
What was that, Shakespeare? Parting is such sweet sorrow? I don't know. Something like that, right?
Something like that.
Yeah. But go ahead and give us your patented sign off there, Pat.
All right, folks. Thank you. Thank you for being with us. This actually went a good bit longer than we initially planned, but I'm glad everybody joined us on this off day for our Live on Patrol and stayed with us as long as you did. As always, be kind to each other, folks, and have a good night.